Year 8 theta, question 7. Join each box in the top line to a box in the bottom line. X squared minus 4 equals 0. Now because it's got an equals in it, it could be a formula or it could be an equation. Now this one is actually going to be an equation. An equation has an unknown letter that you've got to work out. That's what an equation is. Now c equals pi d right at the end also has equals. This is the formula for calculating c. Now it's actually the formula for circumference of a circle. So to work out c, we do pi times diameter. An expression is just a collection of letters and numbers with pluses and minuses in the middle. So the expression is k squared plus 2k plus 1. And the function is the one that has an arrow, y maps to y cubed plus 1. Okay, an equation only works for certain values. So for example, if I had an equation 2x plus 1 equals 5, that will only work when x equals 4. No, not when x equals 4, when x equals 2, sorry. Because 2 times 2 is 4 plus 1 is 5. It won't work for other values, so we can solve the equation by saying x equals 2. Now an identity is when the left hand side and right hand side are always equivalent to each other no matter what value the letters are. So for example, I could say that 2x add 1 in brackets is identical to, we use 3 lines, 2x plus 2. So whatever value of x I put in, so let's say I decide to put 2 in there, 2 add 1 is 3 in brackets, 3 times 2 is 6. On the other side, if I put 2 there, 2 2s are 4 plus 2 is 6. Now if I change my x value, let's say I decide to call it any number at all, I'm going to go for 10. 10 add 1 is 11 in the bracket, 11 times 2 is 22. If I put 10 here, 2 times 10 is 20, add 2 is 22. So it'll always work. So just to summarize that into a sentence then, we could say that identities are always equal equations are only equal for certain values. Question number 8. Solve. So 3m plus 7 equals m minus 1 over 2. The first thing I would do is get rid of the divide 2. So I'm going to multiply by 2. So if I multiply, I'll get 2 times 3n plus 7 equals n minus 1. Now if I expand that out, I'm going to get 2 times 3n, which is 6n, 2 times 7 is 14 equals n minus 1. Now we've got n's on both sides. I'm going to get rid of this one that's got less, so take away n from both sides, we'll end up with 5n plus 14 equals minus 1. Now to get rid of this plus 14, I'm going to take away 14, so I've only got n's on that side, so I will just have 5n, and then minus 1 take away 14 is minus 15. And then finally, to get n on its own, the opposite of times 5 is to divide 5, so n is going to be minus 15 divided by 5. Our final answer is n equals minus 3. Very difficult equation, that one. A very challenging question. Part B, not as hard, this one. To work out t, the opposite of plus 7 is to take away 7. So t squared equals 71 take away 7 is 64. And then the opposite of squaring is the square root. So t is the square root of 64. Now there's actually two possible answers. The square root of 64, most people would just say is 8, because 8 times 8 is 64, which is correct. You could also have minus 8, because minus 8 times minus 8 also makes 64.